Good morning, citizens, and welcome to Mindful Mornings. My name is Claudia H. Brady, and you are in for a Vinyasa session. We typically start at 9:45 to 10:45. This series started in April 1st, and today marks our 22nd session on April 30th. We're still waiting to see what we hear from our governors. I know depending on what state you're coming from, there's different things being talked about. Some of us are hoping and keeping in mind those families are hurting. Some of us are hoping to be able to return to work on May, 2nd, 3rd, 4th. We're going to be keeping pending depending on our governor's order, whether he lifts it or not. Now, I would like to just start off by saying to be compassionate with those around you. Right now, it's kind of uncharted territories for all of us. So some of us might choose to stay home. Some of us might choose to return back to work. Some of us may not have the option to do one or the other. Hello, Gabby. Nice to see you today. I'm glad you joined us. So I'm just going to ask you to please be mindful. Please be aware. Keep your eyes out. Keep your safe distance. Wear a mask. At the same time, keep those around you in mind. Try not to spread rumors. Try not to spread posts that will increase anxiety in your community. Instead, share a little bit of love. Share a little bit of care. Did you notice our Facebook friends that in Facebook they've created a care hug emoji as an emotion response? With that being said, we're going to get started in today's session. It marks our last session of Mindful Mornings. Tomorrow we're going to leave you guys to either go back and start from session number 1, or maybe see if you can practice on your own with everything that we've learned and put together so far. For those of you who are watching through YouTube, go ahead and subscribe. My producer and I are still working on waiting to hear what our governor has to say, as we will be proceeding classes according to the community and the schedule that it allows. As you guys know, I do teach regularly in gyms and studios. So regardless of where we are in this space and time, do know that the Citizen Life will still be streaming videos that provide mindful activities. Once you're ready, make your way into a child's pose. Grounding down through your shins. Allow your knees to come wide, mat with edges. Toes pressing, lightly kissing behind you. Release those hips down onto the heels. And allow your arms to reach towards the front of the room. Slowly your chest releases down towards the mat. Your neckline grows long as your shoulders release. The pits of the elbows grounding down towards the mat. Ground down through your forearms. Maybe go ahead and spread those fingers wide. Just to liken it to this space when you've just found yourself in bed. We take some time to feel our surroundings, to settle in. And that's what we're going to do today. We're going to allow ourselves to settle in here at this moment. Finding very gentle, very slight movement that either places us in a restorative yoga with the forearms down onto the mat, or an active child's pose with our shoulders peel up and back, hugging into one another. The forearms have come off the mat, and the only thing touching from your torso and upper body is your brow, your palms and your chest. Allow yourself to take in a few breaths here, just wherever you may be. We're bringing all our attention inward, allowing the outside, the exterior, the noise, the gunk, the news, the to-do list. Let it all go. Let it fade away with your next exhale. Envision that to-do thing that you are dreading, that you do not want, and exhale. Shoo it out. Let it go. Beautiful. Settle in here. Allowing yourself to be in stillness, grounding down through the areas that are touching the mat. At this moment, you can allow your right ear, left ear to come down to the mat as you take turns. The only focus at this moment is your full inhale and your full exhale. As you inhale, restrict the breath through the back of the throat. Hold your breath at the top, even for just 1 second. A slight pause. Exhale, sigh it out, yawn it out, let it go. We're gonna take 6 breaths just like that. The last 3 will seal our lips, breathing through the nose and breathing out through the nostrils. Maybe each breath you get 1 count longer of your breath. Hold at the top, allow your lungs to expand and really get a gist here of what is a full lung. Might feel a little overwhelming, that's okay. It's only temporary. Exhale, let it out. Pull that navel up and back. Full inhale, let that belly expand. Take a pause at the top. This time as we exhale, we're going to take a pause at empty lungs. Full exhale. Pause. Full inhale. Pause. Full exhale. Pause. If you haven't already, sip up your lips. Full inhale. Full exhale. Last 2 breaths here. Make them the longest breaths of today. Inhale. Exhale. Our last breath here, you're going to open your mouth wide. Full inhale. Imagine your mat is a mirror. Fog up the mirror. Let it go. Now, write a sweet little message here for yourself. What is your intention? Today, we're going to call this a love letter. And what is one thing that you love about yourself? We're going to seal that thought, that action, that verb with intention. And exhale, let go of what that looks like to you. Inhale rocks you forward onto your tabletop right away. Find a straight spine, neutral spine. Connect through the palms. Connect through the tops of the feet. Through the heel. Through the shins. When you're ready, inhale, look up just ahead. Everything else remains neutral. Exhale, tuck in your chin. Inhale, look up this time, peel your shoulders back. And exhale, tuck in your chin. Allow your shoulders to melt towards your ears. Maybe even exaggerate the movement. Inhale, look up, peel those shoulders open. Drop the belly here. That will make your tailbone reach up towards the sky. Exhale, round the spine, melt those shoulders towards the ears. Press away from the mat, through your palms, through your shins, through the tops of your feet. Maybe even shake it out. Wag your tail slightly side to side. Inhale, look up, reach up. Maybe find your hips to go right to left through transition as you exhale. Excuse me, inhale. And exhale. Inhale. And exhale. 3 more breaths here. Feel free to explore. Last 2 breaths. Make them the longest breaths of today. Last one. Full inhale for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale, match it. Inhale, tuck your toes. Exhale, press your hips up and back. Let's find our very first down dog now. Shake out your head, let it go. Sway from your right hip to your left hip. Shake it out. Step out your heels. Bend your knees generously. Lift those heels up off the mat. Do whatever you need to do to get into this space. Imagine you're a mountain and the highest peak here is your tailbone. Once you're ready, find stillness. 3 breaths. Deep, full inhale. Let me hear it. And exhale. Last breath all together. Inhale. And exhale. When you're ready, right leg presses back behind you. Hug it in towards the chest. Round it down. Inhale, runner's lunge. Reach your hands towards the front of the room. Shift your weight forward. Find your forward fold. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, right away. Come into your chair. Inhale, root to rise. And exhale, swan dive forward fold. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, bend your knees, ground down through your palms. This time, right leg presses back behind you. Find your runner's lunge as you lift your chest, your torso off the thigh. Beautiful. Ground down through the palms. Hug in the left knee and find your 3-legged dog towards the back of the room. Release your foot down to the mat. Everybody follow me. Shift forward, finding your plank. Allow your knees to come down to the mat. Press your hips forward. Stagger your shoulders. Hug in those elbows towards the side. Find yourself all the way down to your belly. Hands remain where they are. Find those toes to reach towards one another. Zip up your legs, one cobra tail. Inhale, peel those shoulders up off the mat. Find your low cobra. Exhale, press away from the mat. Find your tabletop. Tuck your toes, press your tailbone up and back. Find your down dog. Now remember, our down dog is optional. You can always skip on chaturanga and just find your down dog, or you can always skip your down dog and find child's pose instead. That is where we started at the very beginning of today's class. I want you to get connected with your mat. I want you to allow yourself to close your eyes. And at any moment where your mind wanders, come right back to your intention for today. What is the one thing that you love about yourself? Wherever you are, finding your down dog and or child's pose. Find your last 2 breaths here. From here on out, feel free to do the modification in our chaturanga with the knees down, to do low cobra, and to find our way assisted through tabletop to find our down dog. And or if you're a more experienced yogi, then find that variation keeping your knees lifted, and we'll go right through it all together. Once you're ready, left leg presses back behind you, 3-legged dog. Exhale, hug it in towards the chest. Ground it down. Each time we come our way towards the top of the mat, you'll see that we'll add one more pose, one more expression. Inhale, arms reach up. Find your crescent lunge. At this moment, if this is too much for you, allow your right knee to come down towards the mat. As you can see, I'm using my towel here until I get full use of my right knee. And I am also untucking my toes, but preferably I'd like you to tuck your toes as you get that nice instep stretch. When you're ready, everybody, allow the hands to come down towards the mat. Pressing off your right toes, find yourself forward fold at the top of the mat. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, bend the knees. Find your chair. Inhale, root to rise. And exhale, swan dive, forward fold. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, bend the knees. Step the left leg back behind you. Allow the right knee to be stacked on top of the heel. Once again, inhale, arms reach up, crescent lunge. And go ahead and release the left knee down onto the mat if you did so with the right knee. We want to make sure our sides are matched. Engage the core, pull the navel up and back. Beautiful. Exhale, both hands come down towards the mat. This time, lift up the left leg and press the right leg, 3-legged dog, back behind you. You always have the option to float your leg if you like to, or ground it down. Exhale, shift forward, knees down or lifted, chaturanga. Inhale, up dog, low cobra, and or down dog, or child's pose. Find your space here. 2 breaths. If you've been with us since the first session, you might be thinking, I know exactly what pose is next. Now, regardless if you do, let's all work together. 1 breath, 1 body, 1 movement. Once you're ready, left leg presses back behind you. My bad, it was right. You are so right, Gabby. Hugging that right knee towards the chest. Ground it down. Inhale, runner's lunge. Root to rise. Find your crescent. Pivoting on the left toes. Allow your left heel to drop, warrior 1. Now we've been here before, so feel free to do whatever variation you like. I'm running through all of them. But it all depends on what you need. If you need a nice shoulder rinse, then find that W. If not, goal post. If you need a shoulder blade opening here, then go ahead, a heart opener. Then allow your shoulder blades to hug into one another as you find a bind. Maybe you're working on those biceps. Maybe you're working on your core. Once you're ready, both hands come down to the mat. Press off your left toes, find a forward fold. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, find your chair right away. Inhale, root to rise. And exhale, swan dive, forward fold. Inhale, half lift. Right leg comes back this time. Bend the knees. Right leg reaches back behind you. Bend into that front leg. Inhale. Crescent lunge. Beautiful. Get your balance here first. And then pivot on those toes as you drop the right heel in line with the left. It's okay if you got to bring your hands down and make sure everything's good to go. Remember, practice makes perfect. You got the videos on here. You can watch them a million times. We'll be really happy if you do. Once you're ready, find the same variation you did on the other side. You want to shine the same expression. We want equality throughout our body. We want harmony. When we rely on one side over the other, we can start to feel our body in disalignment. And we start walking funny. When you're ready, ground down through the palms. Find the left leg, press back behind you. Three-legged dog. Floated or grounded down, shift forward, chaturanga. Exhale. Inhale, up dog. Exhale, find your down dog. Feel free to drop your knees. Find child's pose. Feel free to take in some water. Find movement in or stillness. If your heart is beating quite fast, find stillness. Focus on full inhale. Pause. Full exhale. Last breath here. Full inhale. Full exhale. Child's pose, make your way into a down dog. All together we flow. Left leg presses back behind you. Exhale, hug it in towards the chest. Ground it down. Inhale, runner's lunge and crescent. Exhale as we find warrior one. Inhale, grow tall through the crown, torso only. Exhale, find your warrior two. Beautiful. Stay with it. Stay strong. Bend into that front knee. Stay here. Excuse me. Or find your hands to bind back behind you. Maybe even enjoy in a humble warrior. We have time. Humble warriors, make your way out. Warrior two. Both hands cartwheel down to the mat. Listen carefully. Press off your right toes, forward fold, and or standing splits. Standing splits, find your final expression. Everybody find forward fold. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, chair right away. Listen carefully. Hands draw line through heart center. They look right, left elbow comes to the outside of the right knee. Find that twist. Dip the hips. You got it. Inhale through center. Root to rise. And swan dive, forward fold. Inhale, half lift. Bend both knees. This time the left leg presses up towards the sky. Standing splits. Listen, carefully flex the heel. Allow your toes to come wide as you bend into that front knee. Inhale, runner's lunge. Crescent lunge. Find your warrior one. Inhale, roll tall through the crown. Exhale, just the arms, warrior two. Look forward, frame forward. Stay here or find that bind at your low back. And if you did so on the other side, find your humble warrior. Find the same space. Commit here. You're strong. What's the one thing you love about yourself? Inhale, reaches your way into warrior two. Both heads cartwheel down to the mat. That right leg presses back behind you, three-legged dog. Stack the right hip on top of the left. Bend at the knee and reach for opposite glute. Glute. Can be kind of fun. Maybe even draw circles with your knee. Hi Christian, good to see you again. This is such a fun pose here. When you stack both hips, you can feel that hip open, oh, and that nice spinal twist. Once you're ready, everybody, release or float it down, shift forward, chaturanga. Inhale, up dog. Exhale, everybody, find your child's pose, let it go. Beautiful, you're strong. What's your mantra today? The one thing you love about yourself. Stay here in child's pose and or rock onto your fingertips as you hug those shoulder blades back behind you. Imagine you're trying to crack a walnut. This may be enough for you, or you may want to involve the mudra of prayer hands. Word your fingertips towards one another. Allow the elbows to ground down, press the palms into one another. Find the bend of the elbow. Actively, you're working those elbows to touch one another at the top of your crown as you shine those armpits down to the mat for a massive heart opener, chest opener. Tricep and bicep stretch. Once you're ready, find your way into a down dog. You have 3 breaths. Feel free to take in some water. In fact, I believe I might. Beautiful. We are almost done. We're about halfway through the class. Am I correct? We're about halfway through the class. And we're slowly implementing and adding one pose on top of the other. From here, we're going to take some time, about 15 minutes, to get down to the mat and do some deep stretching. Now, once you are ready, find your down dog. Are you able to skip to the next song? Beautiful. Right leg presses back behind you, 3-legged dog. Find a few ankle rolls here. We're gonna do some core, so feel free to stay here or exhale. Right elbow to the right knee, or right knee to the right elbow. That would look sort of funny, wouldn't it? Inhale, right leg presses up. Exhale, cross it over to the left elbow. Inhale, 3-legged dog. Exhale, find your chest, knee, or nose. Inhale, 3-legged dog all together. Hug it in towards your chest. Round it down. Inhale, crescent lunge. Find your warrior one as you exhale. Inhale, grow tall through the crown. Exhale, warrior two. Listen carefully. Inhale, reach forward. Exhale, both hands come perpendicular to the mat. You got it. Feel free to find a bind here. Maybe you're working on your birds of paradise. Beautiful, you got it. Now listen carefully. If you have that block near you, it might come in handy. We're gonna do our half moon. Once you're ready, pressing off the left toes, shift your way into a half moon pose. And we want to make sure we keep both shoulders stacked, both hips stacked. Flex through the heel, actively reaching through the fingertips. This is our balancing pose here. You fall out, come back in. Sugar cane, go ahead and bend at your knee and reach for your heel. Everybody release, bend at the right knee, coming into your warrior two. Both hands cartwheel down to the mat. Press off your left toes. Forward fold at the top of your mat. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, find your chair and hold. Bring your hands through heart center. This time we're looking left. Right elbow comes to the outside of the left knee. Beautiful. You got it. Dip those hips. Keep them squared. Inhale through center and root to rise. Exhale, swan dive, forward fold. Inhale, half lift, listen carefully. Bend both knees, right leg presses back behind you. Find your runner's lunge and inhale, crescent lunge. Exhale, warrior one. Beautiful, take your time. Once you're ready, inhale, grow tall through the crown and your torso. Exhale, warrior two. You're almost there. Keep strong. Coming into the last final steps here. Exhale, reach forward and find your hands perpendicular to the mat. Beautiful. At this moment, find your bind if you need to. You got it. Once you're ready, find your block, have it handy. Then pressing off the right toes, find yourself into a half moon. Well, I guess we can tell. My left side is a lot more tight than my right, which makes sense. Been experiencing some shin splints, which is due to the tightness of the hip. So once you start to get to know a little bit more about yourself, you start to see what things we are doing wrong and out of alignment to cause pain to our own bodies. My mother always used to say, even if your smallest pinky was missing the smallest piece of nail, it would pain and hurt your entire body. With that being said, bend into that front knee, find your warrior two. Both hands cartwheel down to the mat. Find your left leg press back behind you. Now we are going to match out the core here. So once you are ready, find the left knee to hug in towards that left elbow. Inhale, three-legged dog. Cross it over to the right elbow. Inhale, three-legged dog. Hug it in towards your chest, elbow, not elbow, chest, forehead, or knee. Or knee, listen to me. Three-legged dog. floated and shift forward. Chaturanga. Inhale, up dog. Everybody find your down dog. Inhale, heels high. Knees low. We're going to jump right into Mulasana. Beautiful. Find that space. Maybe you need the block in front of you to meet the distance. Maybe we need it right under our hips, even if it's just to feel protected. Wherever you are, shine that chest forward. You got it. Tailbone pressing down towards the mat. You can stay here or reach your hands forward. Beautiful. You can stay here or find your bind to the right, to the left. What works here for you? Wherever you are, slowly, we're gonna come into frog pose. It's a very, very, very intense hip opener. So if you're able to go, sneak away, grab a towel, something that may bring extra padding to your knees. We're gonna go right into it from here. Once you're ready, allow yourself to shift forward onto your toes as you bring your knees down to the mat. Now, we want to make sure those hips stayed stacked on top of the toes, on top of the knees. We want to make sure those heels are in line with the knees. We want to make sure we stay right over it and not bump our hips forward and not bump our hips back. Should I step back? Here, I want to make sure you guys can take a look at me, my full body. Beautiful. There we go. So for some of us, this might be it. This is why I love having these nice little cushions here. Come down to your elbows and your forearms. That's it. Just focus on your full inhale. Focus on your full exhale. And allow gravity to take care of the rest. This is a very, very deep hip stretcher, hip opener, which stretches both hips at the same time, assisted by gravity through the correct alignment of the body. So make sure you're working through all the poses. And if maybe you're here and maybe your knees are not as far as mine, it really doesn't matter. You're still getting the full benefits, as if full both hips were down on the mat and you were straddling the mat. Eventually you will find yourself there. But for now, we bring our mind to what we love about ourselves, and everything else fades away. Settle in here. You got it. Full inhale. Full exhale. Now, just in the same manner that we came in very slowly, we're going to come on out very slowly. But we're not coming out yet. I am saying that, though, because we are halfway through this pose, and that is precisely when you are wanting to just get the out. You know what I mean? We're all in this together. It's okay. Trust me. Everything is okay. Breathe in. What do you love about yourself? Breathe out the thought that has entered your mind. Breathe in the love that you have for yourself. And breathe out the negative thoughts that have creeped in. Beautiful. Just like that. Start embracing. Full inhale. Now remember, never push past any pain. Beautiful. 5 inhales and 5 exhales just like that. That just means you get to tell yourself 5 more times what you love about yourself. Last 2 breaths here. Make them nice and long. Matching exhales. This is your last chance for your body to remember all the work you've done. And as you exhale, find your way onto your palms once again. Listen carefully. We're going to allow ourselves, and this is going to sound a little bit funny, but this is the easiest way to get out of it without applying any extra needed pressure. Shift your hips forward as you allow your hips to come down, then find those knees to touch and bend at the knees. Find your child's pose and or embryo. Let it go. So if you're still stuck there and you're like, how the F did she come out? I'm going to do it on this side just so you can take a look. We are out wide, straddling, hips on top of the knees. Use your core, ground down through the palms, find your way up. Then we're going to shift our hips forward and then allow our hips to come down. Belly comes down, hugging those knees. Press your way into a child's pose and or embryo. Let it go. You got it. 2 more breaths, just like that. Let me hear. Full inhale. Exhale. Let it go. Bring your hands right next to your chest. Press your way with a straight spine into a seated pose. We're going to come into our hero pose. Now some of us might still need a little cushion underneath our sacrum. You can find a towel. I'm going to use this towel for my knees because I need that little extra support. So you might need that too. And I'm going to use my block. You can use a book. You can use a bolster, a pillow, anything really that meets the distance. And we're going to put it right underneath our sacrum, our hips. We want to make sure those knees are touching as much as possible. The tops of the feet are down onto the mat. And as you can see, we leave enough space right in between those feet for our glutes to come down, for our sacrum to come down. Now, some of us might not be there yet. So that's where the block comes in handy. This might be here enough for you. Or you may want to find your hands, fingertips to face your toes as we shine our chest up towards the sky. This might be good enough for you. Or you might want to shift that block if you have it right towards your sacrum, which is right above right where the tailbone is, where those hip bones are, rather than your glutes. We're going to bend at the elbows and allow one elbow to come down and then the other one. Now listen carefully. You can grab onto your toes if you need to at this moment. We shorten up the distance between our elbows and our knees, but what is mostly important is for your knees to not peek up. So actively ground down through your knees down to the mat. We don't want them to peek up. If at any moment it has peeked up and peel off the mat, then you are no longer secured. Find your way to one step before that space just popped up. Hi Kathleen, good to see you from South Carolina. And find that final variation. Some of us may be completely content here, or you may be able to allow your head to drop, shake it out, let it go. This might be good enough for you. Or you can allow the elbows to release off to the sides as you come onto your shoulders. Arms can then grow long towards the back wall or bend at the elbow. Here, I'm struggling a little bit to keep my knee grounded, so I'm going to go ahead and ground through my elbows and find the space just before that. By focusing on that step just before that, we allow our body to safely find that space needed. And next time you're on the mat, I promise you, you will find that space that you were unable to reach today. But just focus on where you are right now. And remember, full inhale, what do you love about yourself? And full exhale, let go of any doubts. Full inhale, what do you love about yourself? And exhale, let it go. Full inhale, what do you love about yourself? And release any tightness. Now this last breath. How do you feel in this space? Full inhale. And full exhale. Now, wherever you are, very slowly coming out. Tucking in your chin. Finding one place of focus. And slowly, if you're on your shoulders, come onto your elbows. If you're on your elbows, come onto your palms. Shift your way forward now. Beautiful. Find those hands towards your knees. And find those heels now directly right underneath you. Underneath your glutes. As we sit upright. Give it a second here. Be patient. Allow yourself to come right back to. Let it go. Once you're ready, allowing your heels to come off to the right, to the left, really does not matter where. We want our legs to swing towards the front of the room as we find soles of the feet to press into one another and butterfly. Now remember, those heels can be as far away or as close to your hips as needed. What we're focusing here on is grounding down through the knees. So we already feel gravity pressing down, but we want to take gravity and we want to put intention behind it. What are you talking about? We want to take that extra gravity and we want to run with it. Just like when we're running downhill, we start to speed up a little bit, just the same manner. Ground down and imagine you have a string right through the outside of your knees that is pulling you down and pulling those knees to open. This might be good enough for you here. Remaining on an erect spine, grounding down through your sitting bones. Glutes are off to the side. They're not needed in this space. Beautiful. Now find the soles of the feet to press into one another. This might be enough here for you, or you may want to bring those thumbs right in between the soles of your feet and start to peel them open. Now the outer edges of your feet are going to be pressing into one another. And imagine those soles of the feet are a book. Beautiful. You might start feeling the stretch all the way to the knee, all the way to the hip flexor. This is a deep opener. This might be enough, or you may want to add those elbows as you rock your weight forward, still remaining erect on that spine. Now remember, the spine can be straight no matter at what angle. We just want to make sure that we don't tuck in our chin and ground down. Rather, pull through your chest forward. There you go. Just like that. Enjoy your space here, and or take it a little bit further. Try and see if you can meet forehead to your feet, to your toes. Slowly tucking your chin, rounding back up, coming up to a straight spine. Allowing the soles of your feet to ground down to the mat as you hug into those knees. Remain erect. Beautiful. Maybe rock onto your heels, rock onto your toes. Allow that movement to rock its way through your body. Maybe take a look behind you, make sure there's no Lego pieces, there's no kitty toys. And then once you're ready, the most important part, we're gonna end with some fun poses. Maybe you start pressing your way off your toes now. Maybe you're hinging on your hips here, balancing. Once you're ready, tuck in your chin and drop your head back. Rock and roll. Find this movement however many times you want. Maybe this is not your space. Maybe you love it and you just can't stop. Wherever you are, release your spine down onto the mat. Ground down through your soles. We're going to press our hips up to the sky in sets of 5. So inhale, press your hips up to the sky. Thrust your hips for 5, 4, 3. Engage those glutes. 3, 2, 1. Exhale, release down onto the mat. Full inhale. Full exhale. Let's do it one more time. Inhale, lift those hips up towards the sky. Once you reach your space, embrace those glutes, involve those glutes, and press your hips for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale, ground down to the mat. Find the soles of the feet to press into one another and knees come out. Let it go. Knees work their way towards one another. Listen carefully. Knees hug in towards the chest. You can stay here. You can reach for opposite elbow. You can press your heels up to the sky for legs up the wall. You can reach for your toes for nice core work. You can find your hands right below your sitting bones here, your hips, and press your toes up towards the sky for cloud. Maybe even knees to the forehead, toes back behind you. Maybe that's not your thing and you'd rather do happy baby. Big toe pull. Or maybe you're working the soles of your feet together and bringing that bind behind your head. Whatever is your last movement, allow it to take over. For the last 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Release into your dead man pose right away. Limbs fall down to the mat. Arms come wide. Fingertips release. Allow any residual movement to happen here. Maybe it feels good to reach your chin to the right shoulder and then to the left. The music will slowly start to fade away in the background. This is it. This is your space. Full inhale. What do you love about yourself? Fill yourself with all that love. And exhale, release any remaining tension, toxins, stale air. Let it go. And with that breath, we settle into stillness, allowing the areas that are connected to the mat to connect, to ground. Trust the mat. Trust the space around you. Trust yourself here. Doesn't matter if you fade away. Does not matter what you look like. All that matters is how you feel. Let's do a body scan. Starting at the brow. Full inhale through the nose. Release the tension around the eyelids. Release the tension on the lips. Release the jaw as you exhale. Allow your lips to fall open. Let it go. Full inhale. Surrounds and fills your chest, your belly, your lungs are about to explode. Exhale, let it go. Full inhale. Feel those hips release, the inner thighs shine. The toes fall out to the side, the calves. Relax. Exhale. Stay where you are or join me in a seated position. Today's we're going to close our class with 3 ohms. It might be your first time ohming. It's okay. All it takes is you take a deep breath. And as you exhale, you let until you run out of oxygen. Go ahead and do it whenever you need the breath air. And start off. I'm going to start it off all together. Take in some water if you need to. Find yourself in that space where you want to celebrate Om. Full inhale, cleansing breath. Last one all together. The soul that resides within me bows down to each and every single one of you. I thank you. Namaste. for joining us for our 22nd session of Mindful Mornings. Keep pending. Tomorrow we're going to be checking in. There won't be class, but there will be a 15-minute session where we'll be checking in to let you know what you can expect starting Monday. Stay safe. If you're in Seattle, please, please, please keep an ear out for what the governor has to say. And if you're out and about and enjoying of our beautiful nature and our parks, please be mindful of those around you, all ages and pets. See you soon. Namaste.